Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, my name is Laura and I love talking about homemaking and motherhood here on my YouTube channel. I am mom to a sweet little boy who is 17 months old, almost 17 months old, and we're expecting baby number 2 here to join us in a few weeks. I'm currently 29 weeks pregnant and I wanted to sit down and film this video to just share and chat and talk through some ways that I am preparing for baby number 2 while having a toddler, managing pregnancy while having a toddler, and I hope that it is a helpful resource for you if you are in a similar boat or similar situation. If you are wondering how to manage this transition, you're not alone. I've been wondering the same thing, and I just wanted to sit down and chat and share some tips or hacks that have been helpful in having a toddler while being pregnant, and then also some things I'm doing to prepare for life with 2 under 2. We'll be talking all things organization, resources, and just encouragement in general. So if that sounds interesting to you, then just keep on watching. Like this video if you find it helpful, if you enjoy it, and also subscribe to my channel if you are new. Grab yourself a warm beverage, a cup of tea or coffee. I'm drinking a mocha. It is so delicious. And I'm also going to maybe fold some laundry because I have a very large basket here to keep me company, and let's chat all about preparing for baby number 2 while managing a toddler. So one of the first things that comes to mind for me when I'm thinking about preparing for 2 under 2 is topic of energy and rest for the mom during the pregnancy and even those first months after having a newborn. So I thought I would share just a few things that have been really helpful for me in having energy, conserving my energy during pregnancy, during the first and second trimesters especially, while also keeping up with a busy, active toddler. I love taking some of his nap times to rest. I know my tendency is to want to get stuff done during his nap time because that's when I have uninterrupted time, but especially in the first trimester, it was so helpful to just sit down, maybe read, enjoy something that was just relaxing. Then that way I was refreshed and able to better take care of him once he was awake, get dinner prepped, all of those sorts of things. And I will say this was much easier in that first trimester because my son was still taking 2 naps. At this point, we are down to 1 nap. We have made that transition maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's quite different. It's quite an adjustment for me because my time that I have to myself during the days is basically cut in half. So what I'm finding helpful now is that I actually use his nap time to get things done, like filming videos, getting cleaning done, dinner prep, those sorts of things. And then I'm able to rest while he is awake by setting up an activity for him, doing an activity with him. Even reading books together is restful. Just to be able to pause throughout my day, sit down with him, enjoy time together. And I also find that I'm able to have little pockets of rest while he is maybe doing something independently, which I'm going to talk more about independent play later on in this video. I'm finding, especially in these recent weeks, that getting out of the house does wonders for us, especially once you're down to the 1 nap. Getting out in the mornings just completely changes our day and helps my toddler to be more excited to be at home. Like, I find the days that we're just home all day can feel really long because he is awake for such a long chunk. And so getting out, either going for a walk, going to the park. Right now it's winter time, so it is cold. We still will go for walks and just bundle up. But I have found that it's so wonderful to schedule play dates, to go over to another mom's house, or to have friends over. I know sometimes that can feel challenging, but I think it's really worth it, and especially great for him to get out and to be interacting with others. We also have some like community programs for littles that will make use of public libraries, things like that. Even if it is just going out to the grocery store, that's still a fun adventure for him and something that we can do together to get out of the house. And so that's something that has really changed. I've realized recently how important that is. We don't get out every day. I would say I aim for maybe 4 mornings a week. And then I find that when we are home, he's much more eager to play with his toys and be home, and he's just more entertained which leads me to toys, which I love doing a toy rotation because it just simplifies toys. For one, it doesn't cause me to constantly be cleaning up toys when I'm already tired. And two, it helps my son to be more entertained by the things that he has because he's not like bombarded by all of these different objects. I don't really have a system that I follow. If you want a system, I'm sure you could look more into it. I just kind of do what works for us. You can do what works for you. I maybe rotate every few weeks and really only keep out like 8 to 10 toys. We have our little play area downstairs where most of them are, and then I will have some up here, like 2 or 3 things, and then just like books and teddies in his room. And that has worked out really well. Not saying that's gonna work for everyone, but it's an idea if you're finding that you're just cleaning up your toddler's toys all of the time. While this pregnancy is going by so fast with already having a busy, active toddler, I find that the length of a pregnancy is really cool because I do feel like it's such a great time period to prepare and to sort of wrap your mind around the transition that is coming. And so I'm starting now to get into this season of preparing our home for having 2 under 2, for having a new, and I really want that transition for our toddler to be as smooth as possible. So they will be room sharing at some point. So I have already gone ahead and moved his crib to where I think it will go once we have 2 cribs in there. That way it's just one less thing that he needs to adjust to when there's all these other different adjustments going on. I'm also going to be using his current mattress for the newborn because it's a breathable one for newborns, and so I'm going to have his new mattress. I'm going to get him probably set up with that here this week, probably just so that he gets used to it. I don't know if it'll be that big of an adjustment, it's just a mattress. But that way it's just prepped, it's ready, it's done. Keeping our toys and our baby and toddler clothing minimal has been something that's really helpful and something that I'm still learning and trying to grasp what is necessary, what's not necessary, and figuring out what works for us. And everyone needs to figure out what works for them too. But paring down on the amount of baby and toddler and toy items that we have has been helpful, or that we even bring into our home in the first place. Just being really intentional is really good. And I do think I do need to, in the next few weeks, go through our toy collection and just organize things. That way he is set up for success once we have a new baby. Those sorts of things I'm not gonna be doing, I don't think, when I have a newborn. So part of my nesting journey will be also preparing a bit and organizing my toddler's life. And one of the ways that I know I can do that is by organizing his toys. And I'll also need to be getting our baby things out from storage, washing those things, those more nesting things, which I'm gonna film a whole other video about. But taking the time during pregnancy is really beneficial to prepare for that newborn stage. It can be difficult with a toddler in tow. So I just find finding those pockets of time when he is maybe entertained with a task, or maybe he's playing downstairs anyways and I can just go through his toys while he's down there and just bringing him along with me to do these different tasks. He enjoys it, he maybe finds some new things to play with, and involving him just allows me to get some of those things done while he is awake and right there with me. Which brings me to independent play. I'm a huge fan of independent play. It is not just an excuse for you to neglect your kid. That's not what it's about at all. It's about teaching them in ways that they're able to do, how they can play independently, figure things out on their own, become more independent, become problem solvers. When I'm not right there with him all the time, he might have to figure out how to do something or how a toy works on his own. He's gonna be more imaginative and use toys in different ways without me being right there watching him and sort of guiding his play. And I also find that he will concentrate on an activity for so much longer if he's on his own, because he has to figure it out. He's not being interrupted. And so starting to have these little blocks of time where they are doing an activity or a toy independently, I think just really sets them up for success. And this kind of ties in with the toy rotation. I've just found it so helpful having toys that are age appropriate, whether it's balls that he loves or cars, just sort of finding and researching different ideas of things that he is able to do on his own and that he'll just really enjoy. And I know that this will also be so helpful when there is a new baby, because he will be able to play it independently here and there while I'm feeding the baby or doing whatever. If I'm just sitting and I can't help him, then I know that there are different activities that he can do, that maybe he can sit right there and just work on this toy or activity independently while I'm with the new baby. Another thing that I'm doing now, which is probably a no-brainer, but is preparing for my toddler's care once I do go into labor and once we're having a baby. And one way that I'm doing that is obviously by coordinating with people to come watch him, but also to have snacks prepared. I haven't done this yet, but I'm planning to prepare different snacks for him, even meals that are either frozen or just to have in stock on hand, so that whoever is here caring for him, or even after the baby is here, when different family members are here helping out, they are able to easily feed him. And also having just a written out schedule of his days, his nap time, his feeding, his playtime, bedtime, all those sorts of things, and notes will be really beneficial for anyone who is coming by to help out. And then something else I'm planning to do is to prepare a few maybe surprises, nothing crazy, but just some different activities or things that he can do once we're at home here with a newborn. Things that are just a little bit more exciting. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be some new crayons and coloring pages, or just some toys that he hasn't played with in a long time. I think I might even save a few of his Christmas toys and not really give them to him until later on. My next one is accepting help from people when it is offered. I know that this will be just so much, even more beneficial now having two. I think it's so helpful when you're having your first, but especially when there's already other kids in the mix, accepting meals, reaching out and just asking for help, for support, for prayers during the birth and after and recovery and all of the things. We're not made to do it all, and that's okay. So accepting help is actually a really great thing to do. It's a sign of strength, I think, and not weakness. And something that I need to remind myself of is, as I'm thinking about preparing for having two kids, 2 under 2, 2 in diapers, 2 in quite needy stages of their life, it's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be chaotic. That's just the way that it is. I can't try to control everything. There's gonna be messes, there's gonna be spills, there's gonna be moments of overwhelm, and that's okay. And I just need to mentally prepare my heart and my mind, and in those moments, pray and ask the Lord to just remind me of truth, remind me of the blessings that I have in my children. One way I like to do this is just by having different scripture verses. I like to tape like by my kitchen sink or somewhere. Maybe I'll put some in my bedroom where I will maybe be more often, or in the playroom, as just reminders that we're not made to be perfect. We are weak humans and we need the Lord's strength to rely on. And when things are feeling crazy or out of control, I just need to pray and ask for his wisdom, for his guidance. And I think just lowering expectations too. Not everything's gonna be done perfectly, and that's normal, but I want to prioritize what matters the most for my children's care, for my toddler, especially during the newborn season. And for someone who likes to be organized, sometimes I struggle with knowing how to be organized. And so it's just a bunch of trial and error. I've never had 2 under 2. If you're in the same boat, you understand that there's gonna be things that I didn't see coming, and there's gonna be a need for flexibility and just figuring things out as we go. One practical way that I hope to make the transition easier is by stockpiling things like diapers, wipes, again, snacks, postpartum snacks. I'm gonna again be sharing all of this in a nesting video, meal prepping and cooking meals ahead of time to have for after when baby's here. Just doing anything that I can to minimize all of the things that I need to be doing in those first few weeks. One idea that I saw is by having like a sort of busy basket or a few different baskets that I can rotate for my toddler. I think that's something that I will do. Just have maybe 2 or 3. I guess you could do one like for each day of the week just to kind of rotate through. And maybe that's something, you know, there's something to read, there's a different toy, there's just a collection of things that I can pull out if I need to feed the baby, or maybe just sort of a morning basket idea for something for him to do in the morning. That's another thing that I want to prepare beforehand. And then I also know how important it is to be taking care of ourselves as moms, something that I do and something that I have found helpful through this pregnancy, with having a toddler, with being busy, with just kind of feeling go, go, go all day, is by taking time in the evenings to rest, to relax, spending time in the Word in the mornings or whenever. Doing quiet things for me is really beneficial, like reading. I've started doing some embroidery, something that I can just sit and do and just enjoy, to feel more balanced while in a busy season of life. And something that I was reminded of very recently is that we can't remove all of the stress and overwhelm from our lives. That's just simply not possible. But I do want to find ways to minimize it, because I want to be at peace much more often than I am feeling overwhelmed. So these are some of the ways that I hope to do that in this transition. I hope that some of these ideas are helpful for you as you are possibly preparing for a transition that is similar. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to not know what to do, to ask for help from other people, to rely on others, and to just remember that it's important to be flexible during this season. I know that now that I'm in the 3rd trimester, my energy is probably going to start dwindling as it did in my first pregnancy as well. So these things that I'm hoping to organize, and nesting and all of those different things, I'm hoping to just approach more slowly and gently, get them done as I can, make sure that I'm prioritizing time with my toddler as well, and just enjoying these moments with him, just the two of us at home during our days as we all prepare for this new chapter in our family's lives. I'd love to know if you have additional thoughts or tips or comments down below. I always enjoy hearing from other moms as well. Each of us brings a different perspective and different ideas, and so I would love to hear what you have to share as well in the comments. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful and hopefully a bit of an encouragement for you, and I can't wait to see you in my next one. Bye.